Hi everyone, I'm back with a tutorial of how to paint an iris using these new Daniel Smith and Schmincke watercolors, and we're going to try and overlay the iridescent, the interference lilac and see how that goes. Okay, so first of all I have done just a quick sketch, and if you can kind of see here, that is the pencil at full kind of strength, and then the sketches are about half that. Normally I use an aquarelle. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I cannot find it anywhere. It's basically like a watercolor graphite, but I just used this simple lead pencil, and this is just the watercolor paper from Walmart, just to try this out. So to start with, we're gonna do some wet on wet with probably a bit of this. Okay, so I'm having a few technical difficulties, but basically what I did there is just put water on, grab some colour, this one, and then just pop those in there. We'll wait for it to dry. Okay guys, so I'm back. I'm also alternating this video with this lavender sprig video. Just while I'm waiting for one to dry, I'm working on the other one because I don't have a like a drying machine thing. So once you've kind of let this settle for a little bit, you can actually go in and take some of this and put it in the other spots that you kind of missed. And that'll give you kind of layers of different colours and different areas that have dried at different times. Also, the interesting thing is, I wasn't sure that I'd really like the Winsor and Newton Cobalt Violet, but I'm finding that I quite like it in this painting. So, you know, it's interesting to see when a colour comes to life in a painting. That's why it's good to kind of use them and try them out in different situations. Okay, so it's almost dry enough to start adding some more detail, I think. The colours I've used so far is the Cobalt Violet, Winsor & Newton, the Schmincke Brilliant Red Violet, and the Naples Yellow Reddish for the centre. So now that the brush that I used to do the wet on wet is the Vinci Petit Gris Pur number 20, and the one that I'm using for a lot of the detail is the Escoda Reserva number 1, and then I'll go back in with the Escoda 30 for the veins. Okay, so we might try a little of... One thing with the Daniel Smith Iridescents is that they do not re-wet very well, so you just want to pop a drop of water on them and sort of let that sit there for a minute. So let's just go in and start kind of putting in some of the shading with this. And then what I'll do is I'll just probably speed up the video for the parts that... So one thing you can do is mix a little of the Naples Yellow in with the Cobalt, and then also in with the Brilliant Red Violet, just kind of give you a slightly different shade there that you can use And what I'm trying to kind of do is fill in the shadow areas. Kind of trying to start to put in some of the creases in the petals. And kind of create some movement. I'm just working on the middle and basically start from the top to the bottom so that the bottom of the strokes, end up overlapping the top ones. And I've mixed a bit of the desert chrome with the chrome I think with the Naples yellow. When I get down here, I'm just kind of doing this side as the shadow side, not as much on the other side. I'm just using a bit of watercolor paper to mix on as well. So I'm trying to do some shadows, and I always find it kind of hard to figure out how, because I like the look of it when it's, pastel, but you obviously want the shadow in there for the form, so kind of tricky. You also want it to have life. And a bit of the desert chrome kind of back into the painting as well, for some of the shadows. So one of the things about using the 3-0 brushes, the really tiny fine brushes, is it's great for detail, but they do not hold a lot of water or paint, so you've constantly got to grab more on your brush. That's one of the sort of downfalls of these tiny brushes. But on the plus side, if you're worried about putting too much paint down, which sometimes happens, and kind of ruining where you're up to, then these are a great option because you're not going to get a lot of paint on the page. Okay, so it's not perfect, it's not quite finished, but for the purpose of this video I think it's alright. And what I'm going to do now is just add the veins with the iridescent lilac, the interference lilac, to kind of show you what that will look like on top. Okay guys, here it is. Hopefully you can see. How nice that's going to look when the light hits it from different angles. Thanks so much for watching.